too.
Greetings, humans. Brittany, can you hear me? I seem to be locked out of the private chat. I don't know if you can see that, Brittany, but no worries. Just wanted to communicate that quick. Greetings, humans. Welcome to the multiverse. It is Wednesday, October 1st at 1:04 p.m. in this node of the multiverse. If you happen to be watching this show with me, Brittany, and our wonderful guest today, Richard Dullum, at the same time as us, as we're doing this, you are in the same node of the multiverse as us. If you choose to watch this later, you can get in on a different branch of the multiverse and still enjoy the fun. Today, we've got a very special guest, Mr. Richard Dullum, to talk to us about the Pleistocene Coalition and megalithic potential megalithic architecture and evidence of lost ancient civilization in North America and Montana. I'm really excited to have this guest today. Welcome to the multiverse, Richard Dullum. How's it going?
I'm really excited to be here. This is a chance of a lifetime for me and the Pleistocene Coalition and get that story out there. I'm just tickled pink, to tell you the truth.
Cool, man, because you are live on YouTube, Rumble, X, Facebook, and Twitch. And we're going to try to spread this far and wide. Brittany, why don't you throw a promo on X if possible? See if you can do that. I don't know if that's possible, but if you can do that behind the scenes. But to kick things off, we're going to do a little bit of another promo. We have a merch store. Brittany's going to drop it in the chat here shortly. But we also, in celebration of becoming official YouTube partners and making my first 8 cents on YouTube. It took a lot of hard work for 12 straight months of grinding, and I'm really excited about it. So to kick that off, we're going to do a little promo. You can support the channel by doing what's called a super chat, and you can donate to the channel that way. It's a quick and easy and painless way to support the show. But what I'm asking is the first person to donate any amount of money at all, even if it's $1, will get a free hat worth $35 from Mike and Dave's Multiverse. You just have to send us a screenshot you just send us a screenshot and email us your email and then and your address, and we'll send it out. I'm super excited about that. So if you want a free hat, check out the super chat. So these are some of my favorite guests because sometimes we have a cool guest on, like Michael Collins of Wandering Wolf Productions, or it doesn't even have to be a famous one, but somebody contacts us afterwards and says, hey, I really like that guest, or I know that person and I have an idea or a theory, or I'm working with this organization. And that's exactly what happened in this situation. Richard reached out to us and told us about the Pleistocene Coalition and the work they'd been doing and he'd been doing with Michael Collins and everything else that's going on. So we just figured we'd have to bring him on the show. So Man, I'm pumped. Are you?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Just let me tell you a little bit about myself, okay? Uh, I'm a Vietnam veteran,
Oh,
and
cool. I'm an
when
Iraq
I got
veteran.
back to the States in '71, I got a job working on the river as a deckhand and going to Washington University and pursuing a bachelor's degree, which I got in biology in 1975. And then I went to work for Civ Chemical as a researcher, and then did 2 years on a master's degree in microbiology.
Wow.
Then I got remarried and moved to Springfield, went to nursing school, loved it, and worked in surgery for the next 35 years. And while I was in
Wow.
surgery, my wife, Barbara, showed me Eric von Daniken's Fingerprints of the God, or
Ah,
Chariots of the Gods.
you
And
answered my first question.
a
How
seed
did you get into it?
a seed was planted right there and then. And so I started paying attention to that, and Graham Hancock and so forth. Michael Cremo came out with a book, Forbidden Archaeology, which I bought in 1999. And I read that thing twice. It's like 900 pages. It's huge.
I've also read that. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. I
And,
don't have it. I don't think I have it.
I was just so fascinated by it and everything. And I started chatting on the Graham Hancock message board. Somebody there found my chats interesting and recommended me to be with the startup of the Pleistocene Coalition, which is a newsletter that is devoted to, well, I can get into that here in a minute when I scroll through it. And I've been in the Pleistocene Coalition since 2010, and I've been writing articles about, mostly I specialize in English archaeology, British archaeology of the 19th and turn of the century 20th British archaeology, and followed a particular archaeologist, sort of followed in his footsteps with the help of a British archaeologist. And
Well, you're a real Renaissance man.
I saw Mike Collins' video on Sagewall, and it blew my mind. And I said, I got to go for this. And I contacted Mike, and it's been such a rich and rewarding experience. Mike and all the other contacts, the owners of Sagewall, the people up in Montana that have been exploring that area. And since that time, I've found evidence in other places in North America for the very same thing that I see in Montana. So that's it in a nutshell.
This is very exciting, Richard. And, everyone I run into who knows Michael says the same thing, except there apparently is one person who is mad at him that I heard about. So I don't know if we're going to get into that, but
no. Okay. No, not really, and not directly, but
not directly, but it's part of why, like, how this happened, right?
Yes.
Okay, but it's mostly just related to like kind of like who done it or whatever. I don't know who was there first or whatever. I don't know.
It was a result of my reaching out to everybody that was concerned with that. For everybody's I wanted to get everybody's input.
Sure.
Everybody that had been there, everybody that had photographed things, had done any kind of evidentiary work. I wanted to see all of it so I could make up my mind.
And why wouldn't you?
Yeah. And some people just didn't like that I got information from Michael. That's all.
That's silly. Well, I love Michael. We love Michael here. There's something Michael's doing that's super exciting and special coming up here, partnered with Worldview Z Media. They're going to be doing a conference. It's called the Quest for Lost Ancient Civilization Conference, plus potentially a potential after party with where we're doing a 3-eye atlas viewing party where we check out this interstellar object that's coming in on a telescope at an after party. This is taking place August 5th through 7th in Scottsdale, Arizona, presented by Wandering Wolf Productions and Worldviews Worldview Media's with a Z at Embassy Suites Hilton Resort. Get your tickets now. Link is below and in the chat. And let's go ahead and check out a quick promo, and then we're going to get into Richard's presentation. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it.
December 5th through the 7th, December 5th through the 7th, there is nowhere you need to be except Scottsdale, Arizona. The Quest for Ancient Civilizations Conference is featuring speakers like AJ from the Y-Files, Gary from Nerdrotic, Jimmy from Bright Insight, Dan Richards, Mike Collins, Will Brown, and literally so many more. So don't miss your chance to be there and see all of this in person, but don't worry, if you're not going to be able to make it to Scottsdale, you're going to be able to live stream it. Link to all of that information down below. And I've got some special surprises for you, along with my buddies Mike and Dave from Mike and Dave's Multiverse, and our pal Aaron from Breaking Ancient News. So join us, join in the fun, and get your tickets now to the Quest for Ancient Civilizations Conference, December 5th through the 7th in Scottsdale, Arizona. See you there.
And that's my friend Cody from East 10 Outpost. Go ahead and give him a subscribe on YouTube. We're going to be doing something fun there at the conference. Mike, Cody, and myself and Brittany, we're going to be helping Gary from the Nerdrotic podcast to do like sideline reporting sort of thing, like in between speakers and whatnot. So we're really excited about that. We love going to those kind of conferences. Have you ever been to one of these conferences, Richard?
I've been to an Ancient Aliens road show.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah, and then a lot earlier before that, I was at a MUFON conference here in town.
I would love to do that too. How was that? How was the MUFON conference?
Oh, it was super interesting. They showed a shot from the space shuttle where you could see a flash on the dark side of the Earth, the rounded surface of the dark side of the Earth. You saw a flash, and as soon as you saw a flash, an object in space in the foreground moved. And as soon as it moved, right where it had been, a great big blast of energy came up from the Earth, right where it had been.
Yeah,
I love being fired upon by something on the Earth.
I don't disbelieve that. I think there's so many. We could. I think you and I could talk about a bunch of different things. So I don't want to rabbit hole this.
Yeah.
But to give you a little bit of excitement, we actually interviewed William Henry of Ancient Aliens. That should be coming out. When's that coming out, Brittany? Tuesday, I think. Is it Tuesday?
Yeah.
We don't want to promise anything, but possibly this
next
Tuesday
or the following Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah. And it's because we're doing a series where we're trying to interview the guests and speakers at Quest for Ancient Civilization podcast or conference, and we've already got him, Dan Richards, anyone else? Brittany, Michael Button is scheduled. We haven't quite got him fully interviewed yet, but trying to get everyone just to generate some hype for the event because we're really excited about it. And we like talking to these people about their work, and we like platforming people like them. But we also like platforming just, people like Richard who are like, hey, I got this idea. I work for the Pleistocene Coalition. Can I, you want to talk about it? And I say, hey, yeah, that sounds like fun. So let's get into it. So you've been to the Sage Wall with the people who you've been out there yourself, or?
No, I'm not able to travel anymore.
Okay,
I'm just
no worries.
I'm pretty much rode hard and put up with.
Yeah, well, I hear it's pretty. It's a little bit of an adventure to get there.
No kidding. Yeah, it is. But it's a lot more accessible than Peru or the Sahara Desert.
Sure.
I'll tell you that. And there's a lot more amenities for people to explore. And the thing is, when you find things in the United States, that especially stuff made out of carved stone, that the Native Americans did not do that.
Right.
You know that. I mean, that is a total given. North America is culturally pristine. No ancient culture has really touched North America in a way like the empires of Europe and Asia and the Middle East have on their ground. So
Sure.
there's no cultural clutter in the way. And
Sure.
when you get up into the wilds of Montana, you know there isn't.
Right.
You know, there's just no way it could be anything else. Anyway, you let me know when you want me to get in my tab here. And
I do. Yeah, I'm going to pull it. I forgot I'm the one who needs to pull it up. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up your tab. But yeah, like I think that with what you just said there, it just makes me, I believe, I'm willing to have my mind changed that, you had 10,000 years on top of a, catastrophe that ended a civilization in North America. There'd be barely, it would look like the Sage Wall and some other stuff that you're about to start showing us. So you add all that stuff up with Randall Carlson's work and others, and it seems to be, my opinion. I also like this whole idea, so I always try to check myself because I know I want to believe it. But I really do think this is really my leading theory on what happened, is that there was likely we're at least on the second iteration of civilizations, as if civilizations are cycles. It's at least the second one. And we're going to take a look at some possible evidence of that in Montana. Let's check it out. So your screen is shared officially. We got Mandy Westcott tuning in from Southeast North Carolina, recently fascinated with hidden Americas and love this, popped up in my algorithm. Woohoo! I love algorithm pops, Mandy. That's my favorite. Yeah, please give us a subscribe. Mike and Dave's Multiverse. Lots of topics like this as well as others. Richard, go ahead, my friend.
Okay, if you could scroll up to the top of the.
Am I scrolling?
The thing.
I think you're scrolling. I can do it myself.
Oh, I'm scrolling.
Why don't I do it? Let me do it. Let me do it.
All right, I will do it, and
I'll steal it from you.
Here we are. Okay.
Oh,
this is a photo of John Felix.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got to do it again. I'm sorry. You got to reshare. Oh no, you're good. No, we're good. Sorry.
You got it?
Yeah, you're good. We can see you.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, you can go ahead.
All right. I've got my email address listed up there at the top. And this is the start of the Pleistocene Coalition with John Felix in a younger time. He was the guy that had the idea of contacting the major players at Huatlaco. Okay. And this is the covered up ancient site that has been talked about for years and years. And he was floating the idea of a newsletter that hopefully others would participate in to counter the mainstream narrative being imposed by academia, in spite of contrary evidence. This is Virginia Steen McIntyre. She was my mentor, and she started me off writing in the Pleistocene Coalition. Her case was featured in The Mysterious Origins of Man, where she discussed being an example of the results of a knowledge filter. That is, some knowledge goes through the filter that it's accepted, and what doesn't pass through the filter is rejected. Virginia's knowledge was rejected. Anyway, she was my mentor when I started and got me started writing. Okay. Now, if you want to look at the history of Huatlaco, you can find it on YouTube, exposing the biggest cover-up in archaeology. And this is from Will Brown.
Oh, cool.
Incredible history. I have Will's book.
We love Will here. He's eventually going to come on the show too. He's also going to be at the Quest for Ancient Civilization podcast or conference in Scottsdale. And all these links that Richard's got here, we're going to put in the description as well of this video. So
that's good. Anyway, we after this event is still being examined 62 years. 62 years after the excavation started, and it was sparked by this is what sparked the creation of Pleistocene Coalition. Okay. These are the people that founded the Pleistocene Coalition. There's John, there's Virginia, there's Sam Van Landingham, passed away. There's Jim Harrod, and there's Christopher Hardiker, who has also passed away. Here's Michael Cremo. He was a major stimulus in getting Virginia on NBC in The Mysterious Origins of Man, because he did extensive research on her case. Now, I want to give you an overview of the Pleistocene Coalition. If you realize human prehistory must have been far more complex than what you've been taught, if you cannot reconcile an image of ancestors intelligent enough to create fire 1 million years ago, yet for some reason unable to speak or even think as we do, if you wonder whether or not to trust institutions that suppress empirical evidence while promoting an ideological agenda, then you belong with us. John Felix wrote that. Our editor-in-chief, Thomas Jefferson, who we also go by, said, I never submitted the whole system of my opinions to the creed of any party of men whatever, in religion, philosophy, politics, or in anything else, where I was capable of thinking for myself.
Sorry, but that's a clap from me, Richard. I have to stop you there for just 1 second, because I absolutely love that, because that could be applied anywhere to any type of thinking, including and stuff like that. And so thank you so much for sharing that.
Okay, here's where I started with the Red Crag portrait. This is a carved shell that was taken out of a Pliocene formation in England. And you can see it's got a smile, it has a dimple, it has a nose, and it has 2 eyes. It has a pierced part right here. These are all scraped. Those are scraped. They don't go through the shell. This is a glycymerus pentunculus shell, and it's specific to that geological era, the Pleistocene, 2.5 to 5.5 million years. Okay. From the Pliocene, Strata Walton on the Naze, Essex, the first fossil I investigated. I worked online with Michael Cremo, tracking the shell to Stokes curator and lithics editor Francis Wenban Smith in the UK. He supposedly searched for it, could not find it. In 2010, he published an article to debunk it in Lithics magazine. A coincidence, or could it be that a call from the forbidden archaeologist spurred him to respond? If you Google Red Crag portrait, the 5th selection down under Wiki, you'll see my article. I've worked as a researcher and a writer for an archaeological online newsletter for almost 2 decades, inspired by author Michael Cremo's Forbidden Archaeology. My focus then was on British archaeology of the 19th and 20th century, with archaeologist Kevin Lynch of Ipswich, Suffolk, UK, pictured below, with whom I worked for 6 years. This was the best transatlantic experience in my time as a writer, and we became good friends. Here he is showing us Heidelbergensis model of an African specimen skull. Kevin was the boots on the ground in East Anglia, as well as being the principal archivist for the legacy of James Reed Moore, who we investigated for 6 years. One of the best things I've ever done. And we eventually got him recognized in his hometown of Ipswich with a plaque. Now, here we come to Montana.
Montana.
Yeah, these are issues that I published 93 through 90, 95 and 96. All have to do with Montana. So in March or April 2023, I can't think of when, I was planning a different article. And
something to do with British archaeology, right?
Yeah. I was going to go on with that. And I found out about Sagewall when I was thumbing through my favorite tunes on YouTube. And I stumbled onto Mike's video. I saw that. as well as other evidence for Ice Age civilization. Mike has supplied most of the evidence in his documenting by video, co-author of several articles in our newsletter. Invaluable.
Michael co-authors some letters in the newsletter?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Well, pictures tell 1,000 words.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those are his words. His photos are his words. So yeah, he co-authors. You betcha. That's the least of what he does. He discovers as well.
He's the guy who goes out to all these places, right?
That's right. He's the explorer.
Yeah.
He is the boots on the ground. And
I wanted to shout out Carl really quick. This guy's going to your house tomorrow to talk to you.
Well, Carl,
I just want to brag that he has the opportunity to visit Richard at his home tomorrow. Subscribe to Carl if you want to see anything that comes out of it. He's really excited to have you.
Oh, yeah. Boy, I can't wait till I see Carl tomorrow, to tell you the truth. He's coming about noon, I guess.
Cool.
Carl's done some really important stuff, and I'll show you here in a minute.
Awesome.
But anyway, right now, I'd like to say a big thank you to Mike and his team, because he does have a team that works with him for all they do to further true knowledge of our Ice Age past, which is important stuff. Will Brown writes in Enigmatic North America, I don't know if you can see it, I'm putting it up here by my face, that Mike is a believer in working collectively together as a community of researchers and explorers. Now I'm going to show you the area of interest right here. Is the Boulder Batholith. Boulder Batholith is about a 20 by 40 by 5 mile chunk of solid magma that's busted up into little satellites you can see that poke out of the ground. And this has been eroding out of the earth for several hundreds of millions of years. And this is an area. Now take a look at the magnetic survey. These are the high ranges of magnetism here, if you can see where my mouse is moving.
Yeah.
Here up by Montana City, all the way down Boulder. This is this batholith. This is really, really high magnetism. And it's because of the rock. Whitehall, which is right here. Sage Wall, which is right here.
Okay.
It's highly magnetic.
Yeah, right? Weird.
Now, it's also highly mined. This is Mike's map of existing mines in the area. All these little places are places where people are mining. Yeah, that just shows you that there's gold in them Nar Hills.
Where did this come from? This
map?
Yeah.
I don't know where Mike got this map.
Okay.
I wonder what to find that for a couple of years.
I wonder what else they were mining. Like humans do mine gold, but what else? What other kind of mining operations were going on
gold,
there?
Silver, copper.
Okay.
Is commonly found there. If you go, you see the state of Montana in this little inset box with a location map that's in a square. If you go just to the left and the bottom of that square, you'll be in Anaconda. And Anaconda is a place of what used to be the largest copper mine, open pit copper mine in history. Now they're doing it in Peru and Chile.
I just made it bigger so everyone can see it, because when you're going through these ones, I want everyone to see. So maybe I'll put us at the bottom or something. Maybe that'll be
Absolutely. All right, I'm gonna go to the next thing here. This is Sage Wall. Looking down that wall.
Yeah.
It's a straight wall, and it's obviously stacked megalithic blocks. Here's one solid one here. The largest block in the wall is said to weigh over 90 tons. Here's Chris Fortin and Linda Welsh. They own the Sage Wall. They discovered it in 1989, covered with fallen timber and brush. And they've spent years and years and years clearing it off. I've got their link. You can find the latest research at this link. They have not been idle. They have been doing research with various people for the last 3 years, and the results of that research in full to share with the public is available on this link that I've got in blue here. Sage Wallen Trail, Sage Mountain Center, and you'll get everything, and I'll show you some of it. This is Mike's look.
Mm-hmm.
He saw the wall. And
Yeah.
I experienced that feeling through him.
Mm-hmm. That's what he does. That's his genius.
And I mean, this is a moment of superb emotion. I mean, he sees it
bewildered.
and he knows what it is, because this guy has seen lots of walls. He's seen a lot of them.
Yeah, he sees them everywhere. He sees them in a totally different way. Like when I had him on our show, he was like, I appreciate it, but at the same time, he kind of killed a lot of like famous sites that I've actually been to myself that didn't know like that they were all concrete and stuff like that. But he sees these things in a way that others don't, because he's been in the field seeing all these spots. So
there's the concrete up here.
Yeah, no.
Here's another view looking down the sage wall with the camera placed close to it. You can see how straight it is.
Mm-hmm.
This is straight. It's just as straight as it can be.
It's definitely weird. It resembles, the polygonal walls of Sacsayhuaman to me a little bit.
Yeah, somewhat. It does. And then Mike said it reminded him of Sacsayhuaman. I'm going to go down here and show you LiDAR. And you can see when LiDAR removes all the tangled fallen trees and everything like that, there's a sage wall.
Yeah.
Here's a wall that's completely ruined opposite sage wall.
It's parallel. Yeah.
So we'll get into that a little bit later. Okay. Here's a close up of the V-shaped notches that are on top of the wall. And this slopes down towards the inside of the wall, kind of like a parapet almost, or a battlement. Here's a detail of the stacked stone blocks that Mike made. You can see this in detail and in Mike's video, which I've got in blue here, in the story of Sage Wall. Now I'm going to go down here. This is something I observed when Will Brown was doing a video of Sage Wall when he was there. And he focused his camera on the opposite side of Sage Wall, on the other ruined wall. And I noticed this. And these are two blocks that are cut in an S shape. And they're fitted together perfectly like that. And they do not look to be made from the batholithic granite. Matter of fact, they look like pink granite. And Will did not have a magnet to put on it, but I'm betting that a magnet wouldn't stick. So I think that stone was brought in here from elsewhere, because there is no pink granite on the batholith.
That's a weird looking one. I don't know that I've seen that before.
No, I don't think anybody has, but look at how well everything fits together. This is why it didn't fall down and get ruined. Yeah, this particular part.
Shout out Will Brown, incredible history.
Yeah, I love that guy. Here is an additional wall that is stacked stone, which goes up, which Mike noticed when he was there the first time. Another additional wall. LiDAR shows multiple walls marching up the grade. So as you get to the hotter colors, from the green to the orange, you're going up, and you're going up at about a 16.5 degree angle from the sage wall up towards the top of the mountain there.
So were those LiDAR shots in Michael's videos and Wandering Wolf's videos? I feel like I've never seen those before.
Yeah, the reason you've never seen them before is because they're in the Sage Mountain Center research file.
Oh,
and,
okay.
I gave that link. That link is
outstanding, man. Good job. Those
The link-
are
Here's the
very
link
telling.
right here: Sage Wall and Trail, Sage Mountain Center. If you click on that,
Yeah.
you'll go right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all you have to do is just click the tab that says research.
Yeah, and we're gonna put all these links in the description, like
Okay.
right after this episode. Everyone who's watching, but that's really telling. That's
isn't
awesome.
it, though? The LiDAR is
Mhm.
fabulous, and here is more evidence for human work. I mean, nature.
Yeah.
Nature does not do this. Nature doesn't do that. A volcanic dike does not look like that.
Yeah.
Here's another set of walls that are going down the grade. Mike came from above, and he's taking it as it runs on down. So that's the size. Nobody knows how deep below this grade they go. Here's a feature near Sage Wall. This is a punch out. I've never seen anything like it in granite or any other kind of rock. That does not look natural. Here is a stone that is definitely not natural. It has, and I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cup marks in it. And I must remind everybody, this is not limestone. This is doleritic granite. It's hard as hell. There isn't a rock laying around up there that can make a dent in this stuff. You have to have steel to do this. You can't make this with a rock hammer pounding away. And it looks suspiciously like this.
It's quite curious.
Yeah, what we find in Austria.
In Austria?
Yeah, this is documented in the Pleistocene Coalition issues.
Okay.
Now,
yeah. So
here's something else Mike found at Sage Wall, Montana. This is a carve out, and it looks eerily similar to what he saw at Karnak in Egypt. Now, when I saw this, do you know what I thought of? This. The Newark Earthworks Hopewell culture. And what did this, how did this earthwork function? Like this. It catches the moon at its standstill, which occurs every so many days or so many years or whatever. And it is a significant astronomical and astrological event. And the local Native American population built this earthwork to do just that. And look at how perfect that is. That's Graham Hancock's photo. Yeah. Here's another LiDAR at the Sage Wall.
That photo is mind-blowing. Can you scroll back up to that one?
This one?
This is Graham's photo from
this
Newark,
is
Ohio?
a restoration of what the Newark earthworks in Newark, Ohio would have looked like.
Okay. That's amazing. And does that, sorry, maybe you're going here, but does that line up with the Montana one we just saw?
Well, the Montana one that we just saw appears to be a miniature version.
So like a transportable one?
Maybe, possibly portable. I do not know.
Do you have any idea do you know what the Egyptologists say about this Karnak one?
No.
Me neither. That's something to investigate.
I don't think they have any clue as to what it means.
Well, they don't. I think
that this is a possible.
That's true.
Clue here.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too.
It's like an instrument made of stone.
Yeah.
If you get that. Here's another LiDAR view. This is going down the wall.
It's a pretty spectacular view. What's the elevation? Do you know approximately? Like, I guess
elevations are on the order of 10 to 11,000.
Okay. What about just from the length of the wall?
The length of the wall. The wall was originally measured at 276 feet in length, but LiDAR has extended that at least another 100 feet.
Wow.
So what you're looking at is you're looking at the entire length of the sage wall as it's standing. We don't know how much of it is collapsed. Now, here's your little lollipop here, Kaiser Dolmen.
This I'd never seen before, and I put it on the thumbnail. But what the heck is this thing?
Okay, technically speaking, this is a dolmen. It has two uprights and a capstone. The uprights are not one split stone, but they're each individual stones. They've been carved on the bottom here to curve in and sit in a cradle of rocks that have been stacked underneath it, and they go up the side too.
Weird.
Yeah, and to balance it, it's amazing. Michael has a really, really good video of it, and many people have been to this. This particular dolmen and the structures that surrounded it are contended to be a very spiritual spot. And this is not very close to Sage Wall. This is actually closer to Helena.
Okay.
This is actually in a satellite of the batholith that has poked up out of the ground near the Elkhorn Mountains. Okay.
Have you looked into what the indigenous say about it?
They consider this entire area a sacred space.
Sure.
With the rock formations, and some of the rock formations I could show you, but not on this site.
Okay, no
anyway,
worries.
I've got Kaiser Dolmen, and these are Mike's GPS coordinates. You can find it. I don't think you can view it from above, but the dolmen sits on a multi-block rounded cradle that matches the curved bottoms of the uprights because there is no soil to stick an upright in here. It's solid rock. So the cradle had to be carved, shaped, whatever. I don't know why they did that. Anyway.
Can I ask, and maybe you don't know off the top of your head the answer, but how do they know that they're two separate rocks?
Well, they don't know it. If
not
it's
for sure.
No, they're not for sure. There have been natural explanations for this occurring.
Sure.
Geologists put forward an explanation that this whole thing was already together in the shape it's in under the ground, and that millennia and millions of years of erosion have exposed this. Yeah. Now I want to tell all the readers and all the people that are watching that granite does not fracture. This granite does not fracture straight. It doesn't. It only does that when it's underground in a magmatic state and it's cooling. When it cools under the surface of the earth, there's moisture reaches it. And when significant amount of water drops over the cooling magma, the water will crack it like this while it's in the cooling state. After it's cooled, it has no grain.
Huh.
Yeah.
It really reminds me of actually a feature on the Yonaguni Monument. I'm really trying to find the exact feature. But there's a feature on the Yonaguni Monument that has like these two erect stones side by side with a little thing on top. I'm pretty sure. And that's in Japan. I don't know if you're familiar with that one.
Oh, I'm very familiar with it. I read Graham Hancock's Underworld book backwards and forwards.
Me too. Mine's upstairs because it's too big.
Tour of the Hypogeum in Malta. I wrote to the one of the archaeologists that Graham Hancock interviewed in that book and in his video, Anton Mifsud, and we corresponded together. He sent me his book that he published about Maltese human origins of Malta, and it's fabulous. He's passed away.
Yeah, you know the feature I'm talking about then, right?
Yes, I do. It's called The Gate.
Yeah, and the only reason why that I read the same book, the only reason why it's not back there is because there's not enough space, and that book is literally like this big. It's a labor of love, but it's really a lot. There's so much. That's what people don't realize about Graham is he has thousands of dives at all these sites that nobody's really talks about that often. So anyway, sorry, continue.
Yeah. Okay. Continuing on here, you also by Kaiser Dolman, you see these scoop out marks. Now, these are considerable. This one, a child could get in it.
Yeah.
And this rock here has this on it. That's right. And what does that remind you of?
The Giza Plateau?
Exactly. Nubs. These are nubs.
Boom.
Michael calls nubs above Kaiser Dolman. They're supposedly xenoliths, which are inclusions of other type of rock inside a molten magmatic rock, supposedly pieces of the crust that it picks up. And they erode differently. Well, I'll tell you what, this is all the same kind of rock. This is not a xenolith. It's all the same type of rock. The only way you could prove it would be a xenolith would be to crack it off at the base with a chisel and see what you got. And I can guarantee you'd see nothing but granite. Here's a weird cut mark. A cut mark in a boulder.
That one makes me laugh a little bit.
Could not be natural.
It's obviously not. I'm just in my head. My mind is going in a bunch of different directions. Can we stop there for a second?
Yeah.
Like, could be like, you know, like interdimensional robots, like in a fight, and somebody like missed and accidentally hit a big rock. But like, I'm wondering though. I'm trying to like imagine if indigenous populations could and would, for some reason, do that on their own.
They couldn't because you have to have steel tools to penetrate granite.
What the
you can't, you know.
So what would a geologist say about that feature then?
Be totally puzzled. It's not a natural feature. If they were honest.
If they were
honest. If they weren't honest, they would say, oh, it's the start of a natural weathering crack.
Yeah,
well, that is not how granite weathers. It is not. Granite weathers all over the exposed surface by means of acid rain, lichen deposition, falling trees, tree roots, and wind and rain and frost. That's how it erodes, and it erodes microscopically. There's granite dust all over the place here. It's been weathering for millions of years, and the ground is composed of it. And you can see that in the soil test analysis that they did at Sage Wall. Part of the research results that they had done. Well, let me go down here now to Texas. Mike is from Austin, Texas. Okay. And for years and years living there, he never realized, he never knew that there were cart ruts. But after he visited Malta, he came back and he looked at these. And these on the top are cart ruts in the bed of Bull Creek, Austin, Texas. And they are in a bed of limestone that's part of the Glen Rose Formation of Central Texas. Down here on the lower bank of photographs, these are Maltese cart ruts. Here they are disappearing into the water. And here they are rounding a bend. Now, here's Mike at the Austin cart ruts, and you see behind him that they take a bend. Cart ruts. Cart ruts, right? Okay. Here are polycam photos of cart ruts in Austin and in Malta. This is kind of like a ground-based LiDAR type of thing. It's like a LiDAR app. Carl knows how to use it too. Or no, not Carl. Michael Bucci has done some of this polycam work as well in Trist Falls, which we'll get to next. Anyway, Sean Harrisonchuk, who is in Alberta, Canada, and one of our team members for Project Montana, did this interpretation. Now, here's a data page that Sean generates. This one is just an example of the many pages that he has of cart ruts in Austin, Texas, and cart ruts in Malta to compare the two. And they're very comparable. Most of the cart ruts are about 5 feet apart, okay? 5 feet apart. And they're about anywhere from 5 to 6 inches wide. And I noticed this particular shot at Round Rock in Bull Creek, Austin.
So you're suggesting like uniformity to them, like the size and the distance apart?
The distance apart, I think, is a key. They are parallel. Most of the tracks are parallel, both in Austin and in
Texas.
In Malta. They're just parallel. And right here, you can see either drill marks or caterpillar marks. Now, I don't think that one caterpillar would be, I don't think a caterpillar would have any reason to be driving around in here. Now, it's true that off to the left, there is some construction going on. So it's possible these could be caterpillar marks. It's also possible that they could be drill marks used to pop off a limestone slab that had been cut down from the top. Anyway, I want you guys to feature Michael Bucci's paper, fantastic read, lots of data and photos, and a YouTube video to go along with it. Here's the, in blue is the stuff. Now I'm going to go to Missouri, okay? Trist Falls, near Excelsior Springs, Missouri, not far from Kansas City. I saw the first video made there by Mick and Daisy Hobday, who are explorers from Britain. And I don't know how they found out about this, but they did, and they came here and they filmed it. And this is from slightly above the tracks. And you'll notice these tracks are 5 feet wide. They're 5 to 6 inches in width, 5 feet between them, and they're very parallel. And right here, it takes off at an approximate 30-degree angle. Now, I'm going to show you another one.
That's a wild angle to take like that.
Yeah,
that just doesn't make any sense at all. I'm like, I'm sorry. I just don't have anything to say to that. I don't know. I'm a little bit baffled.
Yeah, well, you're going to be even more baffled when you see the next stuff. Anyway, I was checking out the local history of the place. Falls were the site of a late 19th century grist mill, in operation only 3 years before being destroyed, probably by a flood like this. I watched a video of this flood and I pulled this off of the video. Okay. The flood was violent, and I mean violent. The grist mill would have been over here on this side. This is where the raceway was cut in the rock for the water to spill down and power the wheel. Okay. And right here is another overhead drone shot of those tracks. And I looked at that and I said, you know what? I want to excavate this. And I thought Trist Falls isn't too far from where I live. 3 hours, I could be up there myself with a pick, digging this dirt out. Somebody else decided to do it ahead of me. A large patch of sediment covering the angled end of the track has been removed by Carl Adam Carter, who put a video of his visit to the site last December. And I've got it in blue here. You can see it. Carl has returned just lately, about a month ago, excavating, showing a sharp angle that no wheel could navigate. See the unexcavated track site below and Carl's excavation of that very spot showing the sharp angle right here.
This is Carl.
This is Carl.
So can you connect the dots for me? Who's Carl again?
Carl is an independent researcher. He's a contractor in the Kansas City area, and he likes ancient history. And he picked up on what I was doing at Trist Falls, what I was writing about at Trist Falls, or he may have seen videos himself on YouTube and decided to go there.
Okay.
But this was on his own. He decided to excavate this and did very well. He got at the exact spot where it turns just exactly like its parallel mate does. 5 feet over.
Shout out to Carl, man.
Yeah, hats off
to Carl. Everyone can go out and do citizen archaeology now. You know, you don't have to have an institution.
That's how we do it
and control it. You know, that's how we do
it. We do it as a collective, and Carl's part of it now. Anyway, Carl is at precisely the spot where the double track angles off. No cart made that rut, and you can see the width is the same as the exposed track. This was cut. What a job. Great work, Carl. Looks practically fresh, and it does. That this site was glaciated was proven by Carl's identification of erratics, glacial erratics, pink granite glacial erratics brought from the north, litter the site. These are about maybe 5 to 10 pound boulders. There's many of them all over the place. The geologists told me the same thing. Now, here is a GPS overhead view of Trist Falls. When I had the guy that did this measure the distance between the tracks, it turned out to be exactly 5 feet.
Which is consistent.
So my carpenter's intuition was correct. Here are the completely dug out tracks from overhead that Carl took a video of, and you can see what they do. Now it's a little bit wiggly over here because right at this spot, this overhangs that. And this overhang of this area is the reason it was covered in dirt, in silt, because as the water comes from this direction when it floods, it goes this way. As it goes over that bump, you get turbulence that deposits sediment at the bottom of the cleft, and it keeps piling up and piling up and piling up. And that is what happened here. So Carl dug all that out.
Okay.
The slight overhang of this rock here belies the absolutely straight track. So you can see here, straight. And let me tell you, Carl has examined this again, and he's found a lot more cut marks, skips like this, and other things, which we'll feature. Now, I want to go to Oklahoma. All right, look at this. Found in 1969, a graded site that was being prepared for foundations for a large commercial building. And when they dug down between 3 and 4 feet, they discovered a mosaic floor right here. These are made of pieces of Permian limestone that are flat on the side, on this side, and they're jagged on the bottom where they go in. They appeared to have some sort of grout between them. And right here, the explorer is putting his hand in a post hole that's about 1 1/4 feet in diameter. There are 2 of these were uncovered in the very brief excavation that was done. No
very brief.
When you sign off on declaring this a prohibited site from digging. So They went
Why?
ahead and covered it up because that's just how things work in 1969. You could read the whole article in Ancient Pages. The mosaic was composed of Permian limestone at a depth of 3 to 4 feet below the graded site. Upper surfaces flat, lower surfaces jagged. Permian limestone is found in Oklahoma's Wichita Mountains, cropping out about 50 miles away. But underlying the area, it is over 1,000 feet in depth, actually 1,374 feet in depth, according to Wiki, meaning the limestone must have been brought here from elsewhere. Of course, the site was covered up. Now, the latest in Montana. In the summer of 2019, a group of local explorers, which I won't name, met up at Giants Playground, fanned out in pairs with iPhone cameras to explore on the ground the many unusual formation on the batholiths there. Now, this has been done numerous times from 2012 until 2019, okay? At least every year, every season, there have been searching parties going out and looking for things. Giants Playground is located off Whitetail Road, which runs north and south between Boulder and Whitehall, Montana. And it's the only road that runs between them, so you can't miss it. This is looking north to south. This is the pull-off area for Giants Playground, and this area in the red oval is Giants Playground. Okay, Mike provided these GPS coordinates because Mike and another guy were on the ground there, and they GPSed these. Okay, so they were basically all over this area here. The above area with its GPS coordinate shows roadside pull-off at the top of the oval. Oval area encompasses much of Giants Playground. A group of possibly 20 set off in pairs to explore the landscape, find more dolmens or other curious structures like megaliths. The report issuing out of this expedition included the 2 photos I used in issue number 96. I sought permission to reprint, which was denied. But under copyright laws, copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, research, which the Pleistocene Coalition qualifies for.
Fair use.
That's
There we
right.
go,
I
everyone.
can claim
That's
fair
what's up.
use because I don't make a fucking nickel.
Mic drop, fair use, Richard Dullum. He's just doing this because he loves it.
You damn right. Anyway, nobody has the right to withhold evidence. That's called something. Anyway, it's a crime. It's an archaeological crime to withhold evidence.
There's a name for that? As you're keeping on going, I'll look that up.
Yeah, I'll look up that too. I just can't think of it yet. My brain has a lot of stuff on it. The site of keystone cut granite blocks that I show in issue number 96 is an overhead view of a small field of squarish, highly eroded granite blocks, or black, somewhat spread out on a gravelly flat platform from the base of a vertical pinnacle of the batholith. For approximately 20 square feet, it comes out from the base. There are 8 dovetailed shaped keystone cuts observable on the blocks below. Some blocks have more than one. Another shot shows a block with a keystone cut partially buried at the edge of a flat rubble ground of the shelf edge, turned on its side. Cuts are visibly apparent and are all the same size and shape. If hand span is any guide to size, finger spread should measure about 10, 11 inches in a 19-year-old 6-foot male. The fan ends of the dovetails are about this width, narrowing to necks of about 4 to 5 inches. They match the dovetails on megalithic blocks at Karnak. They look just like these.
Bizarre.
They're opposed to each other just like this. I don't
That's
know.
bizarre. That's bizarre, man.
It's the Temple of Karnak. And here's some other examples of keystone cuts from around the world. And there's a lot more sites that have these, and there's variations.
I haven't seen too much coverage on these keystone cuts.
No. And to tell you what, I think they're diagnostic of a megalithic civilization.
What do you mean?
Well, that is no modern civilization
does that.
They don't do that. They if they put blocks together, they cement them together. Or they bolt them together. They don't use keystone cuts. Because if you use keystone cuts, what you have to do is you have to pour molten metal into those keystones when those blocks are right where they're supposed to be. Right. That's what keeps those things straight. And if you look at the mysterious origins of man, there is a piece in there where an archaeologist actually discovers a keystone cut at Pumapunku. His name is, the archaeologist's name is Neil Steed. He discovers it at Pumapunku when they are restoring or attempting to restore a wall. And they removed a block of something, and they got down to the ground course. And here is a keystone cut with a clamp joining two blocks together. Neil took the clamp out of the keystone and holds it in his hand. And that's in either 95 or 96. I think it's in number 96. You'll see that photo. But you can just go watch Mysterious Origins of Man and you'll see all that stuff and a lot more.
That's the documentary from 1996.
That's right. And, you know,
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Archaeological community just howled a storm trying to get that canceled, and they couldn't do it. Matter of fact, NBC showed it again.
Good.
Anyway, this site, judging from known civilizations, used keystone cuts pictured above granite blocks must have been made by an equally accomplished civilization in the Ice Age, beyond the time of the last glacial maximum, further than 20,000 years BP into the past. No other time frame will explain the block's existence where they are. The site needs to be confirmed by an independent party, GPS tagged and photographed. In my article, I've shown the likely area to start. Whoever finds it, whoever goes to find it should be prepared. Hiking boots, long pants, orange cap and vest, very important. Bear spray, and possibly a .357 Magnum pistol.
The time of year.
You're damn right. You better watch out. That is bear country, and it's cougar country too. So just stay aware and go in pairs. Also, beware drone operators. The batholith is highly magnetic. You'll hear this from the sage wall owners too. If you fly too close, you may get interference, which could bring your drone down. Fly higher and use a Clarity Pro or an AI program to search for a layout of square black blocks. As you see the layout in the overhead shot, it's like a fingerprint. Resting on a flat shelf with no trees, approximately 20 square feet in front of a vertical granite batholith spire, probably faces west since it was not shaded during that shot. 10 to 12 foot tall slabs would be facing it. Whoever finds this, for heaven's sake, take a small nickel magnet with you and a frigging tape and angle measure, maybe even a latex cast. If this was part of an ancient floor, it was likely bigger than 20 by 20. So look for partially buried blocks in the near vicinity. Whoever rediscovers this will make their bones, as it will be the first example of keystone cuts ever in North America. Very significant find. This, I'd like to pop in, effectively doubles the timeline and more for existence of Homo sapiens on the planet. People anatomically indistinguishable from us.
This is a new one?
And just as cognitively capable as well. This is Yunxian 2 is Homo longi, Longi, Homo longi. It has a large brain case, and the interior of the brain case shows that it has all the different types of bulges that match up with ours, like Broca's area, like a temporal lobe swelling. And it does not have an occipital bun. It is not a Neanderthal. Junction 2 possess unique feature traits: large brain case, thick brow ridges, long, low skull, broad base reminiscent of earlier human species. Yet it also displayed a flat face and other traits typical of later hominids. More information I've listed there, and a place you can click on to get the article. It is now well known there were at one time many Homo lineages. Understanding the differences is largely dependent on crania that are rare and often damaged and deformed by age. Thing et al. Reconstructed the 1 million year old using an approach that allowed for removal of much of the compression and distortion naturally present in the fossil. In doing so, they found the cranium contained both primitive and derived traits and concluded it's representative of the H. longi clade, which is sister to Homo sapiens and likely contained the Denisovans as well. And that's what I've got. That's my presentation.
Sorry, I was muted. I'm sorry because I was typing. That I was trying to look something up. Is this the recent study everyone's talking about, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
We're going to be talking about this particular thing on Breaking Ancient News, which is another show that I do every other Sunday with my friend Aaron Hines of Megalithic Mystery.
Good.
And Cody of East 10 Outpost. But we're going to be talking about that. But thank you so much, Richard. Some of that stuff I'd never seen before. Some of that stuff I'd only seen like once. And I don't believe everything, and I don't believe anything. That's kind of like how I look at life.
Sort of like Tom Jefferson.
Well, the way I look at it is, if it's coming from an institution, I can bet that it's been curated and hand designed for me, as an idea. And so I try to keep that in mind at all times. Not that institutions are all bad. But then I also have to balance that with my own desire to want to believe all this shit, right? Like I want ancient aliens to be true would be an ideal scenario for me personally, because I think that's super fun. So I have a hard time, not a hard time. What I do is I try to make sure that I balance that with what are we actually dealing with here? And when I do, I'm more of a Graham Hancock guy, as far as not taking the leap to aliens and explaining this with an Ice Age civilization. Right. And I don't know where you're at with that. I mean, I'm open to the alien idea. Again, I'm open to that. The one idea I'm not open to is the mainstream narrative it's open season on that in my eyes. 2025 is open season on the mainstream narrative. Guys like you and myself, not me, I just talk to people about this stuff, but Michael Collins and stuff like that can, look into this stuff, right? Yeah. For you, just as we wrap this up, Richard, what is the most telling thing about the Sage Wall, or just any of the other things that you showed us today? What do you think is the biggest smoking gun for an ancient civilization, possibly ancient civilization in North America during the last Ice Age or before?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, when I was scanning the film footage that's available for Sage Wall, I noticed that just like several other megalithic sites, where there is a continuous stacked megalithic block wall, there is a place in those walls where a very small block has been inserted into the corner of where blocks would have met.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in Ahu Vinapu, which Michael Collins filmed. And it's also in other megalithic structures. And I saw that same type of phenomenon at Sage Wall. I did not cut a picture out to show you. I had to have my granddaughter put this red oval up around the map because I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah, I need a granddaughter to help me figure out some of this stuff these days.
So all I can do is kind of describe it, but there is a place in Sage Wall, and I don't think I have it on any of my shots here, where just a very small block has been inserted into an otherwise megalithic block wall.
You see that in Peru sometimes.
Something like that has to be done by hand.
That lines up with Peru.
In other words, it's a block it's like you see where these blocks here are just going straight. And right near a corner, there's a block that just is put in there on purpose to make sure that this straight horizontal course of blocks is maintained. They wanted to maintain that line.
Mm-hmm.
Just like this line here and this line here. If you go a little further down, like right around in here, you'll see it. I've got some other screenshots where I could show you exactly what I was talking about. But that, and then this thing with this placement of blocks that Will Brown accidentally caught that I focused on. Right
this
here.
One, yeah. This is the weirdest one, the one that I've never seen. I must have missed that Will Brown video, but that's a super weird one.
Yeah. And he never did really remark on that, but I really do think that is an actual built feature. I just don't think that happened naturally.
I can't imagine how, but my brain, I can imagine, like, possible geological processes, but I just feel like that's what's happening. Like, we do that with our past the same way we do that with rocks.
Yeah,
we do a lot of guesswork, which is fine. I mean, that's all we can do. There's not much. We don't have any other way to take a little bit of information and guess. The issue is that when one group of people decides we're the owners of our past, and you're all a bunch of jerks for asking questions or like looking into it yourself, like that. That's when become issues, And sometimes I wonder if it's deliberate, but
I think it is. I think it is because it's a turf battle. It's
for sure.
Battle. They're protecting their turf, and they're protecting their income.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. They're protecting their income, their status, with their colleagues and all that stuff, and their ability to get along in the archaeology community that exists now. But the thing is, what you have to do if you're a scientist is you have to go where the evidence leads you. And if the evidence leads you to conclude that I know there is no way that keystone cuts could have been made by anything other than a civilized people. There would have to be a civilization behind that, because you don't put multi-ton blocks together with keystone cuts and clamps for shits and grins.
No,
that just because you can, you do it for a purpose. Those keystone cut blocks were part of an ancient floor for a building. The soil which it rested on is no longer there. It's been eroded away. Like all the soil on the batholith, there's nothing to stop it being eroded away. And I'll bet a dime to a dollar that if anybody finds that site and looks downhill, they're going to find some keystone cut blocks. Plus, I have another site that I have not released yet, and practically directions on how to get to it, which shows a query site, an undeniable query site, where the
where
Montana, in Montana, nearby.
I have a friend. So we could talk offline about this, but like we could get that to that site. But here's another thing, and this isn't. I wanted to talk to you offline about this as we start wrapping up. But I have a plan where I can get you to like. I'm cooking up a plan of like getting you to the Sage Wall. Okay, so we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it offline. I got a guy. Okay, I got a guy. Yeah. So if anyone wants to see Richard go to the Sage Wall, put it in the chat because I got a. I think I have a guy who can like make it happen.
Oh, my wife will have a cat.
Yeah. Well, I think I have a guy who can make it happen. So I just wanted to shout out to some people in the chat. We got Exploring the Kai with Ra. He was on a couple weeks ago. Thank you so much for joining. Rubate says Sage Wall is now officially megalithic. No, it's not. We were speculating here, but that's what we're doing now, right? And I did want to bring up.
We're following the evidence. It looks like a wall.
Yeah, we're asking questions, and it's a good question to ask. And I'm glad Rue said that because there was one thing I did want to ask you because I did see one video that I didn't explore too much after the fact. But it was showing that the opposite side of the Sage Wall and basically saying that debunks it because it makes it look
Timothy Alvarino.
Yeah, and when I looked at it, I was like, yeah, I guess, but I'm not a geologist.
He did not excavate and he did not do ground penetrating radar. So he really does not know.
Got it.
He really doesn't. He doesn't know.
Carl says, I wouldn't say officially, but the evidence is incredibly compelling.
Yeah.
Carl's been in here too. See, Brittany left. She had to go pick up her kids, so I lost my producer, but I'm just flashing everyone up. The guy in the picture at the elbow at Tris Falls is my adventure partner, Adam Takic. Takeoch. Adam Takeoch. Got it.
Okay.
I heard the spaceship will land in Montana. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you, Carmen.
Will.
That wouldn't be a bad spot to land.
It's a good spot. It's a good spot to land.
I'm open to the idea of three. Have you heard of 3i Atlas, Richard?
It's called AI Atlas. Oh yeah.
No, it's called 3i Atlas.
3i Atlas. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I am like not. I do not think it's an alien mothership. I've actually been following the data very closely. But if it is, I hope it lands in Montana because Carmen P will be the one who called it. I wanted to say one more time before we wrap things up. To celebrate us officially becoming YouTube partners, the first person to donate any amount in a super chat will receive a free hat from our merch store. Simply donate at least $1, then send us a screenshot of the purchase in your email address or your address to MikeDavesMultiverse@gmail.com. Make sure to let us know which color you want. $1 in the super chat just to celebrate. I made 8 cents, you guys. That took a whole year. Okay. So I'm really excited about it. And also to celebrate that, the next person we had on was Mr. Richard Dullum, who writes for the Pleistocene Coalition.
Exactly.
Who's we've got some links to their stuff in the description. We're going to put all the links from Richard's presentation in the description as well. I'm going to hit some roll out music as we start kind of counting down. Let's see. What are we going with? There we go.
All right. Thanks so much.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir.
Really appreciate this.
Good. I'm glad you had fun. You were live on 5 platforms.
I never thought I'd get to do anything like this. I'm just thrilled beyond imagination.
I'm glad, man.
Nobody can talk to me at home. I'm just.
That makes me really happy to hear because I really like just and as if you missed that part, Richard just emailed us and had some interesting stuff to say, so we brought him on. And we bring anyone from Graham Hancock, Jimmy Corsetti, if you're listening, come on my show. Also,
I'm
if
going to
you're
hold
just
this book up, okay?
Yep.
This is Will Brown's book. You guys, everybody should get that. It's just full of really good stuff.
It is, and he's one of the hardest working, like thoughtful, like people in the business. He's going to be at Quest for Ancient Civilization conference, August 5th to 7th. And we're super pumped to be there. Our whole team's going to be there. I'm just going to mention quickly, we've got a few things coming up. Tomorrow I have an interview dropping with Indigenous Wisdom Keeper Yona French Hawk of the Cherokee tribe, talking about all kinds of interesting stuff. It drops on Friday. On Monday, I dropped an episode with anthropologist Dr. Elizabeth Weiss, talking about a Native American Grave Repatriation Act, but also about her very fascinating career. So you guys can check that out on my podcast. Please like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. Really helps out the channel. And thanks for joining the multiverse, Richard.
I'll have time to see all that stuff because my next article is already done.
Perfect.
So the webmaster already has, editor-in-chief already has my next article.
Outstanding, my man. And how do people subscribe to it? They just go to the website? Brittany posted it earlier.
Yeah, just go to the website or email me. And we will, if you've got content, 1,500 words or less as article size.
Very cool. All right, guys, enjoy it. Tomorrow I'm going live with Oleg Czeszkiewicz, the Polish author of Deja Vu. Has everything already been? And it's translated from Polish, sold over 10,000 copies in Poland. And he's a brilliant young author, only 22 years old. Really excited to talk to him at 12 o'clock Eastern. No, we switched it. It's at 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Don't forget to tune in, like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Richard, we're looking forward to talking to you on the multiverse again.
Yeah, namaste.
Talk soon.